Hey, people. Woohoo! Hold on. Make sure everything is going smooth. There we go. Hit it, people. Welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Don't go anywhere. We got a live Q&A coming up right now, so don't go anywhere, people. Hey, people, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully, everybody can hear me okay, and there's no tech issues. Welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Everybody joining in, I appreciate it. Woohoo! Hopefully, everybody's doing okay. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks for a lot of people. People dragging booty. People are, even me. It's let's face it, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, oh my, it feels like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I talk to a lot of people, clients, people all over the place. And they're like, man, it feels like the same thing. So I get it. Hopefully everybody will get their energy back and we'll start feeling a little more alert. So welcome to the Art of Relationship show. I'm actually a fully licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan, Detroit area, okay, Metro Detroit, and been doing this for a long time. It'll be 22 years in August. Coming up in August, it'll be 22 full years, and I specialize in relationships and marriages and sex therapy as well, okay, and I have a lot of trauma and grief experience as well. So I'm legit. I'm not the fly by night coach that everybody self proclaimed tells. A lot of school, a lot of education that are going there, and life experience as well. Okay. So this does not replace the actual professional counseling that I do in my office. Okay. Disclosure, I talk about every week. So thank you so much for joining. And as always, you can throw in your comments down below and share on your timeline, your page, wherever you're listening to. Please share it. And you can join in, throw your questions down below, okay, people? So anything I can do, let me know. I want to answer as many questions as possible, help as many people out there in their relationship, marriage, intimacy aspects, and in their dating realm for the single people out there as well, okay? The show, the Art of Relationship show, is for you to find true love. And if you think you have true love and it's hit a roadblock or there's been a betrayal, an affair, I'm here to help you through that, try to heal that as well, okay? So, talking about a topic at first, intimacy in dating, okay? When you're talking about intimacy, being physically intimate, having sex with somebody else, do you have a rule of thumb? The old school, well, I'm going to wait 90 days, 30 days, 6 months, or are you okay having intimacy if the chemistry's there and the connection's there? Are you okay having intimacy on the first date? And I don't get into, as people listen and people talk on various episodes, I'm very sex positive, meaning I don't get into shaming others. I don't get into slut shaming, sex shaming, nothing like that. Hey, JJ, I appreciate you tuning in. Lindsay, appreciate you. So I don't get into those type of shaming aspects. I tell people if it's consensual, it's your life, be safe, absolutely. But I don't want anyone to get coerced, manipulated, guilt tripped into being intimate when you're not ready, okay? So if people want to be intimate on the first date, so be it. Have fun, enjoy, and be safe, okay? But I don't want people to be coerced into it, manipulated, like I said, guilt tripped into being intimate with anybody. What are your take? What are your rules and boundaries when it comes into intimacy, okay? When it comes into being intimate And if you think back, for those people in a relationship that are married right now, join in, chime in. Did you have a third date rule? Did you have, can you, no, I can't do a backflip. I used to be able to do a backflip many years ago, not any longer. So, so I look at, what are your rules? Do you have rules? Do you throw them out the door? Or do you abide by a rule? And I've talked about, people that are going to wait until marriage to be intimate, any type of form of sexual intimacy, okay? And it's also about, they might say they might do other things, oral, that thing, but no penetrative, okay? So again, everybody has rules, everybody has that. And I tell people before, I never promote waiting until you get married, okay? So that's where I'd be able to go after, and I look at what is happening, what is going on in your relationship. And this is about self-love, self-respect, and it's about being consensual, and it's also about, right, freedom of choice. No one lives your life but you out there. So I don't want people to get into shaming, get into bashing anybody else. And I definitely am not into the double standards, right? It's okay for men to do that, and it's not okay for women to do that. So I don't want people to be able to double standards. I'm not into that, and I still run into that in my office. Let's face it, on a daily basis, be it women, be it men, be it, non-binary. They run into double standards, let's face it, because people want their own way. What happens when you don't? Excuse me, people. So throw your questions out there down below. I love to hear your feedback, your inspirations, if you will. Might be able to help other people out there as well. And it does not have to relate to the topic tonight. It could be maybe you're dealing with, should I break up? Should I divorce? Should I stay together? Those type of things. Hey, Andrea, Nick, I appreciate you tuning in. And like I said, everybody, join in down below and even share, if you can, share on your timeline, okay? I'd love to hear people hit you up. I'd like to hear whatever I can do to help people out, okay? So, I'd like to know what your questions are, what your feedback is, what is going on in that situation, to be able to help you out and make your relationship, make your life better. And I said I'm all about self-love and self-respect, okay? So, what is your take talking about intimacy? On have you had sex on the first date? Or do you have a hardcore rule about when it comes into being intimate with somebody? Or, if you feel it, you feel it. And what happens if people say, most people, 80 to 85% of people meet online in one form or another, right? They DM, direct message somebody, hit them up on social media, Facebook. A lot of people are on dating sites, and I know I hear feedback all over the place about they hate dating sites, they hate this, they hate all those aspects. Okay, so when it comes into, I know a lot of people out there, single people out there, that they hate the dating life. A lot of people may be fake, maybe misleading people, maybe lying to people, saying they want a long-term relationship, but they don't. They just want the booty, okay? And don't lie, don't mislead anybody. So now, say you meet online, going back to that, meet online, dating app, wherever, okay? Or maybe friends, right? And you exchange numbers, and you're talking for weeks, maybe you're talking for months before you meet, go on a date. And would that constitute, oh, we've talked and known each other for a couple months, would that make you feel better if you're intimate? Again, no shaming. Would you feel embarrassed? Would you feel guilt tripped? Oh man, I wanted to, and I shouldn't have. All that guilt trip because of society, because of religions, because of culture, society, what my mom said, what my grandmother, dad, whatever said. It's about what you want to and what your intentions are and being real, being genuine, those type of situations. Okay. So I'd like people to be able to go after it and be able to look at, do you have hard rules when it comes into being intimate when you're dating somebody, okay? Or do you have a hard rule when it comes to, okay, if you're being intimate with somebody, does that mean you're not intimate with anybody else, that you're not having sex with anybody else? And there's people, right? Oh, baby, there's men and women, right? Oh, baby, you're the only one I'm being intimate with, right? You're the only one and you're lying. Don't lie, be open, be honest, because you gotta be safe as well if you practice safe sex, right? Because you don't want to give somebody else something else and that type of situation. There's a lot of people because of embarrassment, because of lying, because of um, ego and all that stuff. They're like, I can't say anything. I have this, STD, STI, that type of situation. Well, STI, hopefully you take meds and that'll clear up in a week or two, right? But so what is your hard, fast rule, if you have one, when it comes into intimacy on a first date? Or are you going to wait for 90 days, 30 days? Are you waiting till you get married? Okay. So, oh, hey, Rebecca, I appreciate you tuning in. Let me turn off. Sorry, people. Just want to turn the light off so it's a little better view and everything as camera autofocus gets focused back in. Hey, Bailey. So, I look at, if you're in the mood and you're both into it and feeling it, whatever, go for it, right? And again, that doesn't mean, every guy wants it. There's women that want to have intimacy on the first. Hilarious, right? Thanks for turning off the light, beaming off your head. I had to wear sunglasses. I know I got a lot of forehead. It beams right off, man. So, yeah, I had to, right? That's one reason I don't want people to be blinded, right? And don't worry, man. Off my big forehead, I've been like this since God, 19 years old. I was young, man. So, going back to the intimacy aspect, um, if you feel like everybody assumes, men are like this, women are like that. No, they're not. This is more about what works for you and what does not maybe work for you. Okay. But I'm giving you, not that I have to, but I'm giving you permission to make that decision about you. Okay. I'm allowing you to, hey, this is my life. I'm going to do what feels good to me or what feels right to me. I'm not going to get guilt tripped, shamed, that type of element. Okay. I want people to be real. I want people to, be open and honest with themselves and not get into a situation where they are shamed into one way or another. Okay. Polly, hi there. No, I do not do hypnosis. Great question. I am not trained in hypnosis. Um, I know a lot about it, but I'm not trained in it. So I ethically, professionally, it would be unethical and illegal for me to try to even do hypnosis or any type of therapy that you're not professionally trained in. Okay. It'd be like, you know, it could be a dentist that's going to do open heart surgery, never trained in it, right? So that's a great question, but I do not. If you have questions about it, let me know. And there's a lot of myths, a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis and the validity of it, the power of it, and all those aspects, okay? So when we're talking about um, the intimacy aspect. And that's where I want people to be able to look at um, what are your rules when it comes to it, right? What are your rules? And do you even talk about intimacy how long does it take for you to even talk about intimacy when you're dating somebody? Meaning, what do you like? What don't you like? I've talked about this before, right? Why waste time, right? Hey, I'm not into oral. I hate oral. And there's a lot of people that they think this, they whatever, and, they're waiting to let loose, right? And then they find out that that individual is not into a certain thing, be it oral, be it anal, be it whatever, right? And some people are into, what do I want to say? There's some people that are in group intimacy, right? Some people are into threesome. Some people have a poly situation. Some people are swingers. Some people, there's all kind of people out there, right? And it's not a right or wrong. However, it is about compatibility. So when you're talking about intimacy, that doesn't mean that you're gonna have sex with that person. That doesn't mean you are going to want to be intimate with that person. But what gets in the way about even having that conversation, talking about it, and find out if you're compatible or not, or even maybe like the same thing. I could try that. I'm not into that. I hate that. So why waste your time? And some people will try to convince the other one to be okay with something they're not when it comes into intimacy and sex. Or some people, right? Well, they'll be okay not getting, say, oral. They'll be okay. They'll be fine with not necessarily. So when you come into compatibility, when I talk about being intimate, when you talk about, having those aspects in the dating realm, how many people are shy? I get it. Or they feel like, how rude, how dare you? That's too personal of a question. But people will talk about on the first date, hey, what's your credit score? How much money you make? How much debt do you have? So when it comes into intimacy, a lot of people will, oh my God, that's private, that's this, that's that. But own it. I am a type of person, and I promote in my practice, and I promote now, right, out in the open, promote being comfortable owning your sexual attitude, your sexual identity, what you like, what you don't like. Now, let me rephrase this, okay? That doesn't mean you go out and broadcast it to everybody out there, okay? That is up to you, whatever you do, okay? So that's where I want people to understand. Talking about intimacy on the first date, the 3-date rule. To me, there's no rules. You make the rules. You do what you feel comfortable and safe and secure in doing, right? No one lives your life. And there's a lot of people out there that are religious that will bash, that will be hypocrites, that will, I've been there before, right? Oops, sorry, people. Trying to adjust my chair. No, I don't have a wedgie. So a lot of people will try to shame other people into that's wrong. That's not what you want. God doesn't want you to do this. So that's where, hey, Tim, what's going on, man? Awesome. I hope you're feeling better, man, for real. So I know we got to talk more. I wouldn't try a 3-way. I would just be disappointing another woman. You know what? That is true. I wouldn't be able to hang, man. I've been offered threesomes over the years, and I've turned them down because it's not me, right? And women think I'm lying to them when I say this, and guys think I'm crazy, right? And no, not at all. Yeah, that's great. Hey, why would I want to disappoint 2 women, not just one, right? Tim, oh, that's great, man. So those are the situations where I don't want, if you're into that type of situation. And I've had people kind of say, I've been on a date, first date, said, hey, I'm in the group, I'm in the threesomes when it comes into intimacy. And hey, no, sorry, I'm not into that. And that doesn't waste anyone's time, right? But a lot of people oh, we need to be friends first. And I'm like, okay, Are you looking for a friend, or are you looking for love? Are you looking for chemistry? Are you looking for those aspects? So those people, I'm not going to bash. I don't get into bashing people, okay? But I question and I challenge people when it comes into intimacy, when it comes into sex, when it comes into lifestyles, right? How do you want to live? No one decides that but you out there, people, okay? So, real quick, make sure you follow me. Share this on your page, timeline. Follow me at LoveGuruGreg. Check out my website. It's in the profile up there or down below, wherever you're watching. My website, theartofrelationships.org. And I still have some classes, self-help courses that are on sale, believe it or not. So check it out, theartofrelationships.org. So when it comes down to it, you get to decide and what works for you, not religions, not, and I get bashed by uh religious people, highly religious people, and you have your beliefs, I have mine, but you should not be trying to brainwash or trying to convince, trying to manipulate, trying to guilt trip somebody else to believe what you want, right? That's not respectful. And maybe a lot of people come into that. So that's why I'm telling people. And I want you to give yourself permission to make those decisions. Nobody else does, okay? So you look at the intimacy aspect, what works for you might not work for anybody else. So would you ever have that saying on first date that hey, I'm into this, I'm not into that, and find out if you're compatible? Or some people, hey, I've never tried it, but maybe I'm up to that, okay? So those are those situations that I I want people to be able to be open, to be confident in, to promote that self-love and promote that self-respect when it comes down to intimacy. Not only, sex and intimacy like I'm talking about now, it is about the life you want to live, okay? And me, I am monogamous, okay? Oh, oil up, Pappy. I'm monogamous. That's if I'm in a relationship, monogamous relationship. Yeah, I'm monogamous. That's me. But I work with all kind of people, all type of sexual identities, sexual lifestyles, and it's not a right or wrong because one person, because I'm monogamous, one on one, that's me. I understand a lot of aspects, and it's not about how, like, a lot of people want everybody else to live their life. No, that's not fair, right? I get that. Hey, Gina. So I want to look at those elements because how you live your life, that doesn't mean you get to force feed or try to dictate somebody else living their life. And we all know there's so many people out there that will do that. They'll bash people. I don't want to get into bashing. I want to get into promoting self love, self respect. And I want to get into the situation where you make your rules for you. Nobody else does, okay? As I'm looking at any more chats. So throw your questions down below, people. I'd love to hear it. What are your questions? What are your elements out there? I'd love to be able to look at that, okay? So, Marina, Cat, hey Victor, I appreciate you joining in on Instagram. And like I said, you can listen in. People are listening in on TikTok. We always have the immature people on TikTok going on. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. So make sure I be flattered. Follow me, Love Guru Greg. And yes, I am a fully licensed professional counselor, fully legit relationship and sex specialist here in Detroit. So hit me up, when it comes into intimacy, even look at where did you learn about intimacy? Where did you learn about your values, your beliefs, your morals when it comes into sex, when it comes into, relationship aspects? when pertaining to relationship, or a lot of people, well, I don't know. I was always raised this way. I was taught this way. So that's the way it should be. And I'm like, who says, right? Who says that, right? A lot of people do. I was raised this way. I hear it every day in my office. Well, that's how I was raised. That's what I believe in. And I was talking to a couple earlier today about, hey, where did you learn that belief, as far as, it could be marriage beliefs, right? What marriage vows mean, what infidelity means, what does, you can have consensual non-monogamy, right? You can be married and still be swingers, be open relationships. So everybody's different, but a lot of people look at, and that's where I challenge people when it comes into intimacy and sex and relationships. Okay, have you ever looked at, where did I get these viewpoints from? Where did I learn my values? Where did I learn my morals from? And number one, do they work for me? Or am I just following suit and trying to appease my parents, my grandmother, aunt, whoever raised us, uncle, whoever raised you? Are you looking at, and do you follow suit? And if it works for you, great, that's okay. But what I'm telling you is, do you ever challenge your values, your beliefs? Do you ever look at and try to, hey, is this for me or not? Because you were raised a certain way doesn't mean it works for you. And I get slammed. I told you, I get slammed by a lot of highly religious people when it comes into that. I'm not religious, but I respect people's beliefs out there, okay? I respect that, but that's where I want people, hey, it should be this way because I was raised this way. My grandparents were raised this way. My great grandparents were raised this way. So that's how it should be. And my question is, why? Who says? If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, then that's what's hard, right? And that's where, say, some people that are lesbian, gay, trans, those type of situations, right? And they're trying to fall in line how they're raised and what's right and what's wrong. Who decides that? As long as you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting anybody else, right? Those are the two parameters I go by. Is, I don't want anyone to hurt themselves, and I don't want anybody to definitely hurt anybody else. Lying, manipulating, coercing, those type of situations, right? I'll never promote those, not at all. So a lot of people will live their life trying to appease mom, grandma, dad, whoever raised them, to be that good person, that good daughter, that good son, whatever that situation is. And can you still be a good person and respect other people, but still practice different things? That is more your identity, right? So a lot of people are afraid to even talk about it. They're afraid to challenge it. They're afraid to maybe even talk about friends when it comes into intimacy and those type of situations. Oh, why would you do that? You're supposed to wait until you get married. And I'm like, who says that? Right? Oh, religious. The Bible says that. And I'm like, well, that's a whole nother issue. But does that work for everybody? Is it even true? Those type of situations, but people won't question because we're taught. I'm old, right? Old school. Taught we're never supposed to question our parents. Do as you're told. Do what they say, and that's how you're supposed to live your life. It doesn't work that way for a lot of people, and that's where I want people to give themselves permission to explore what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and it's based on your life, not who raised you, okay? It might. Some things you can pick up, but not everything, right? Like I tell people, I work with professionally with couples. I work with swingers, open relationships, poly, bisexual, same sex, all kind of situations, okay? And of course, heterosexual monogamy, right? I work with monogamous people too. And I tell people I'm monogamous, okay? I promote, that's how I am, that's what I am. It's just me, right? Have I looked at it, explained that? Have I tried to explore all those situations? Yeah, but it's just not me, right? So that's where you look at what works for you and what doesn't. But to be able to challenge those beliefs, to be able to challenge, um, your identity. And that's when I talk about, intimacy on those situations, okay? And would you have sex on the first date? Or would you wait on the third date, 30 days, 90 days? And I tell people it's whatever you're comfortable with, okay? But because you're one way doesn't mean somebody else has to be okay with that. Because one person is a certain way doesn't mean you have to live that way either. And a lot of people will look at, hey, you know what? I really don't want an open relationship, but I don't want a divorce. I don't want to be swingers or a poly situation, but I don't want to lose her. I don't want to lose my lady. I don't want to lose my man. So you sell yourself out. And that's a very, very difficult, uncomfortable lifestyle to live when you are living maybe not the essence you are. And I've talked about that on numerous episodes as well. So when it comes down to your sexual identity, what is it? What does it mean? What do you like? What are deal breakers when it comes into intimacy, right? It could be, I'm me. I'm not going to be with someone that does not enjoy giving or receiving oral sex, right? It's important to me. So I would not mesh with somebody that is like, thinks, oh, it's gross. Ew, that's disgusting. That won't work for me. But for some people, that's okay. Again, it is not about, going after the situation, what's right, what's wrong, and trying to convince somebody, right? No. Oh, I appreciate it. This is a guy to take tips from. I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. So, those are the situation where I want people, if you are monogamous, great. I'm monogamous. I told you that. I'm one on one, that's me. If, but if you are more into, you want threesomes, you want open relationships, you're into a fetish or a kink situation, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So those are not those situations that work for that, okay? And that's where I want people, if that's who you are, be okay with that, okay? Be okay with those situations. Parodies, no, this is not a parody. I'm talking real life, man. So, those are situations that I want you to live the life that works for you, okay? So, those are the situations that work, and, you know, you are the only one that's going to live your life. So, if you're monogamous and that's you, like I said, it's me, you need to find someone that shares that same value, okay? If you're wanting and you crave threesomes, a poly situation, that's who you are. You are non monogamous. Be open, be honest about it. But you need to be with someone that shares that same value. And again, it is not a right or wrong type of situation. Hey, Angela, hey, what's going on? That's where I want people to give themselves permission to live their life according to them. Don't lie about it. Don't mislead. Don't tell people one thing. Hey, I like this. I love this. I'm into this type of intimacy or sex just to try to get someone to like you. And you find out that you're lying. You're manipulating somebody. You're trying to flip the script. So be open, be honest. And that goes with anything about if depending on your age, right? Me, I'm older, so this doesn't apply to me when it comes into, one wants a kid, the other one doesn't. And you really like that person and their beliefs and their thoughts and what they want, but you're saying, oh yeah, I want a kid, or yeah, I don't want a kid when you really want a kid. Or you're telling them you want a kid when you really don't. That is fraudulent, and that's lying, that's misleading, and that's misrepresentation. And that goes with the same thing with intimacy, okay? So, what does sex look like for you, and what what type of life do you want? Okay, do you want someone that is more into maybe affection? Everyone talks about the foreplay aspects, right? People get into those situations to where I want someone that enjoys foreplay. I want somebody that enjoys like I mentioned, oral, maybe anal. I want somebody that enjoys role playing. I'm not saying me personally, okay? These are situations when it comes into intimacy and being comfortable with your own sexuality. And going back to, like I said, in the dating realm, would it's okay if you want to have sex on the first date. No shame, not at all. There's going to be people that are going to disagree with me. That's their choice. But you can, if it's consensual, you want to, you're in the mood, maybe you had a lot to drink, but excuse me. But that's where I want people, it's your life, nobody else's. If you want to wait, wait. Okay. What I'm saying is, you live your life, nobody else does. And what you view as important to you needs to be important to you. And that doesn't mean that you sell that out, okay? Like I said, what works for you might not work for somebody else, and somebody else might try to be a certain way when it comes into intimacy or sex. And then what happens is, you know what? I've been living a lie, and this is not me. Well, you told me it was in your 5 years, 10 years into a relationship or a marriage, right? And then they're wondering what happened or what changed. Well, you weren't honest at front. You weren't legit at front. Well, I really liked you. I fell in love with you. Well, that is also misrepresenting yourself to stack the deck in your favor and trying to get somebody to, like you, continue to like you. And that's fraudulent. That's misrepresentation, okay? And I don't promote that professionally and or personally, when it comes into that situation. So when it comes into intimacy, what are your beliefs on it? What are your values? Think about that, okay? And this is even in, like I said, I started with in the context of intimacy, sex, and dating. Do you wait, have sex on a first date, whatever it is, okay? That's fine. It's your choice, right? There's no shaming. I don't want anyone to shame you, or if someone tries to shame you, whatever. It's my life, not yours. To have the confidence enough to be able to look at, you know what? It's my life. I don't want to hear it. Okay. That's commanding respect for yourself. Okay. So look at those. Okay. What are your beliefs about it? What are your values are? And like everything else, your values about marriage, relationships, um, definitely sex. Where did you learn them from? Where did you learn them from? That didn't make sense. Where did you learn those from? And do they work for you, or are you just living the norm that you were taught, that you were raised with? Okay. It's like our, in the United States, right? Our education system does not teach, oh, I'm going to get slammed for this. It does not teach people to be individual thinkers. No, they want all the kids, and it's been this way forever. They want all the kids to think as they're taught. They want everybody to think the same. I'm all about trying to get people to think individually, to be able to look at what's best for them and what life are you living, and does it work for you? That type of situation. And that comes down to with anything, dating, marriage, relationships, having kids, not having kids, and definitely sex, intimacy, okay? And to be able to challenge that and to be able to even ask, hey, where did I learn this from? And does it work for me? And a lot of people, like I said, they'll slam you, they'll bash you. You should live this way. I'm giving you permission to explore that and learn how you are and how you want to be and also what type of intimacy you want, what type are you into, and what works for you. Okay. And that goes with every relationship or dating aspect. But be open, be honest, don't lie, don't mislead anybody on. Okay. So, again, I appreciate everybody tuning in as my voice is shot, going through puberty again. But look at my website, theartofrelationships.org, and I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm beyond flattered, okay? I'm very flattered that you spent your time tuning in, listening to the show, because I know your time, and I say this every show, but I mean it. Your time is valuable. So I'm very, very flattered and very, very humbled. So, everybody have a good night. Let's keep promoting peace and love out there. Thank you so much, people. Take care. Bye bye. Peace. Peace.